Hi, this is Mark, and I am on California Street here in Palo Alto. This is one of my stops down this way to teach yoga at a law office down this way. And I'm in front of Avalon Yoga Studio over here. I've never been in there, but they're open 365 days a year. They've got classes all year long. They even have what they consider a yoga university, where they have trainings to help get yoga teachers out there and give them a really thorough training. It looks pretty interesting. But anyway, so I haven't gone in there, but I just passed it and I thought, oh, that's pretty cool. I'm going to do my reading in front of it and just mention them. And this is the reading for December 12th, and the topic is Go with Full Confidence. Starts off with, don't worry about anything. Worry never brings any benefit to anyone. On the other hand, it spoils even the little that you might do. There is a beautiful saying I read on a daily calendar page many years ago. It said, sorrow is nothing but what you borrow. Nobody is going to give you that. You go and borrow it. If you don't care to borrow it, there's no sorrow for you. That's all. You are the cause of your worry. Nobody can bring worry to you. If you care, decide not to worry. Remember, worry is not going to bring anything to us. On the other hand, it will sap away even the little energy, the little capacity that we may have. A worried doctor cannot operate. You all know that. A worried student cannot write an exam. Go with full confidence. Just say, I'm doing all that I can, that's it. We make things change. Everything takes its own time. We're in a hurry to change things. We want everything instantaneously. Allow nature to have its say. Nature is God. Let our lives be filled with trust in the higher will. Whether it is an individual or an organization or a nation or the whole globe, let it go smoothly in its own time. Again, like some of these other readings, I like the overall idea here. And I feel like I can wrap my mind around this when I think of this in a general sense of things. Like it makes sense. Yeah, have confidence. Don't worry. It doesn't help. But when you see things in the world that you have this like gut reaction to it, like it's wrong or this is way out of balance, it's hard to not respond to it with some kind of heaviness and instead have this kind of lightness that he's talking about. No, don't worry. I know that when he says this, it's not this sort of flippant, don't worry, like, chill out, why are you being so stressed out? And a dismissal in a way that we shouldn't do anything. But it's this idea that recognizing that the action of worrying, that the emotion of worry is something that we're choosing to take on because we feel like we don't have power over a situation. We don't feel that we have a way to resolve or even imagine it changing. A little bit of noise here for a moment. Let that pass. But to begin a process of imagining that it can change shifts our consciousness into a more productive place. And I believe it's from that place that a lot of our change makers in the world, a lot of our inventors of thoughts and objects, things that have been created, came from this place of knowingness, this sort of one-pointed focus that didn't worry as much as it had a sense of rightness and absoluteness about it. And to me, that seems like that's the place to bring our minds to bring benefit into the world, rather than to fall into the pool of all of that worry. Because like it says here, you take that on and you choose it. And so because we are, what's the word I often use? Sensitive beings. I do feel that, if a worry is racing towards us, someone else's worry is racing towards us, we might take it on for a minute because there could be the part of us that feels, wow, it could be justified. There's a place for, having some constructive thought around it and working through that emotion. It's not like we should erase the emotion and like you just have to get rid of it because what's wrong with you? You don't worry. No, it's more of a factor of noticing that that's what it is. Oh, I'm noticing I'm having some worry. I'm having some anxiety. Is it going to serve me best to feed that worry and start to imagine all the worst possible things that could happen? Or is it possible I may need to talk about this with a friend who can be more uplifting, who has more positive thought? Because that might shift the thoughts into something that could be constructive to make that change. He says here, a worried doctor cannot operate, a worried student cannot write an exam. Is there a little bit of worry in some moment of that? Possibly. But again, it's that idea of acknowledging it and then getting back into that laser focus to put all of that good energy towards what you're doing because you want the best. And so, that takes practice because sometimes we may have a default that doubts that we have a best or doubts that we can reach our best. We doubt that the world can reach its best. So we start to go into this habit way of thinking that may have come from something from a long time ago, some other wounding that's not related to the present moment. And because that wounding never healed, there is this feeling like, well, how can anything be healed? How can anything turn into a positive? And that's an intense feeling, and it may take a journey to unravel what that wound is, to really clearly be able to have that awakening, have that healing moment happen that then allows us to imagine, wow, things can shift, things can change. And until then, I do think we hold on to this little bit of doubt that the world isn't a good place. Because usually that wounding is pretty old, from quite a ways back when we didn't have the tools to manage it. But now we have the tools, and if we're still struggling, we need help. We need support. And that's okay. That's just what we do. We need one another. And things take time to change. Everything takes its own time. We're in a hurry, and I think it's a significant thing to bring up too. We can't force a flower to blossom. You can't force fruits and vegetables to become ripe and ready for eating and pulling from the ground. There's something about it going through a cycle, and I think we've maybe forgotten about that because of how we've created so much convenience in the world and a sense about that's how it should be. And then we're impatient, And I fall into that too because there are things that have been created to create more convenience that helps us in so many ways. But we got to find that balance with it and right-size things, because if it's going to disturb our peace because we're so, attached to things going a certain way, then we got to look at that. Okay, that's what I'm going to share for today. So thanks for being a part of this, and I'm going to show off my t-shirt for just a moment. Just saying. Okay, have a good day. Thanks for being a part of this. Bye.